The Sunset Canyon Tournament is a new event in Rise of Kingdom. I'm really excited about this event, but today I'm going to be talking about it from the view of a R4 or an Alliance officer. This event is really important, not just because of the rewards, but because of the psychological warfare element it has. So the four kingdoms you're going to come together and fight. And what you've got to think about is there are going to be people in the other kingdoms in 58, 59 and 60. And if they see that their Wales, or what they consider the strongest player in their kingdom, gets smashed in this tournament, then it's going to have an effect on their morale and perhaps even make them migrate, which would be even better. We've already got the Rising Star, which has that effect already. We've had people turn up that we haven't even invited to the kingdom because they've seen that we're getting strong and they want to be part of that. Let's have a quick look at the rules. So this video is about the pre-selection stage. So this is just fighting among ourselves to see which 32 governors enter into the tournament. Of course, we want as many of our alliance governors to qualify. So I'm making this video to share with my alliance to hopefully help them get into the top 32, which is not a big ask for any free-to-play player. I think should be able to get into the top 32 if they work hard. Let's have a quick look at the rewards. So some pretty significant rewards there, but what's interesting is if you qualify, you then only need to get into the top 64 for 300 gems, 4 gold keys, 18-hour speed up, and a whole load of resources. Pretty dismal if you're 65 to 128, but I don't think getting into the top 64 is a difficult task. And of course, for the top 2 people who win, I hope we will take both of these home, because that would be quite nice. But remember, this is times your entire alliance. So although it's only 5 hours speed up on the there, but that is of course 5 hours speed up for 80 players. Let's have a look at the current leaderboard. So this is the current top 32. I had a count up, I think, a minute ago, and I think we were 14 of us in the top. But I will be chasing that and try and get in that number. I would like it to be over 20 by the end of the week, but the first day is always a little odd in Sunset because there are the people that can hit themselves with their farm. There's people strong players who forget to play until 7 or 8 at the next day and lose 8 hours, and of course they start in 2,000 or 3,000 position. It takes them a while to get back into the top 100. But I did start at midnight, and here I am in second, and I say I'm not worried. I'm really confident that I will qualify. So let's now go and have a little chat. So there's only so much information you can get as an R4 when you view somebody's team. But what you're looking for is, have they got the core elements of a strong team, and have they put their commanders correctly with the correct commander? Have they put the highest level commanders at the front line? And of course, are they using the commanders that have an area of effect, or what I like to call the team player commanders? So the absolute core of your Sunset team, of course, would be Sun Tzu and Ethelfled. I also think, Joan as well, but the absolute core I want to see is Sun Tzu and Ethelfled. Of course, if you've got Minamoto, put them in. That's fantastic. But now these are the commanders that are the team players. By team players, I mean they do damage to not just the one in front of them, that the commander in front of them that they're fighting. They also do damage to the commander either side, or have an area effect or a buff like Joan has, where she can buff up to 5 other, I think it's 5, well, looks unlimited, but people within range get a bonus from her skill. Especially that really important one on Joan, which is the Rage Restore, which just brings forward your attacks and can really help change the outcome of a battle. So, let's have a look. So the first thing when we go into campaign, let's look at my team first. So, the first thing as an officer reviewing your players or your governor's team is how many team players have they got. So I've got Joan 1, Cleo 2, Ethelfled 3, Sun Tzu 4, the Archer Commander there 5, the Cavalry Barbarous, or whatever he's called, 6, Mehmed 7, and then I've got the new Egyptian one, so that's 8. So out of my 10 commanders, 8 of them are team players. And as we know with any team game, you can't just have superstars fill up a team. You can't have a team of football that's got 10 strikers that are super expensive. It doesn't work. You need a rounded team. So 8 out of 10 of my commanders help the person next to them. The weak spots I have where they don't help the next person next to them is, of course, City Keeper and Thomas the Archer. Just quickly, the reason why I have them there is as a free-to-play player, I have a problem with epic stars, and I have a problem with, of course, the gold stars. And to negate this problem, I used 1 green and I used 1 blue commander. They are, of course, significantly cheaper. So these 3 commanders are all level 42. To get to level 43, I need 570,000 XP. For the blue commander to get to level 43, I need 760,000 AP. But for the epic commander, I need nearly 1,000,000 XP, 950. And this difference really adds up through the levels. So this commander is 6 million worth of XP, where the green commander here at the same level is only 3.6 million. So 2.4 million more XP to spend on my epic commanders. Let's now go back to the team there. Commanders. Oh no, where was I? Sunset. So let's go back to the team. So also the next thing we want to check. So we've counted how many team players we have. And I think 8 out of 10 is pretty strong, especially for a free to play. Now the next thing I want to check is the level of the player in front higher than all the levels of the player behind. So behind I've got a 10, a 16, a 13, a 13 and a 14, and my front row is all significantly higher, so I have at least got them in the right place. The next thing to check is, have you got Ethelfled and Sun Tzu, which of course I have. The next thing to check is just a basic one, is are the buffs working together? So, of course, my 2 archers are together. That's good. My cavalry isn't 2 cavalries, but the cavalry behind is a team player, so I'm still happy, and gives a boost to skill damage. Sun Tzu, of course, you don't want to see Sun Tzu with someone like Martel or Joan, because, of course, Sun Tzu has a very powerful skill where he can give 20%. I haven't got it fully stacked yet, but an extra 8% skill damage. So if he's with Joan or Martel, that 8% skill damage goes to nobody. It just goes to him, and it doesn't help the next commander. So you always want your Sun Tzu to see your governors using Sun Tzu with another damage dealer. Right, let's now go down. Let's pick out some people. I'm not going to do my alliance. Let's just pick out some randoms who. Let's have a look here. So he's got 1, 2, 3. So 3 out of his 8 commanders are team players, which I think is a bit low. I'm surprised he's on 1602. Perhaps he's got a super strong Sun Tzu. Perhaps he's been hitting himself with his farm. But he's got here, so good on him. Let's see though. 3 out of 8 as team players I think is a bit weak. He's got the core team. I'm very happy with Sun Tzu, Ethelfled. But then let's look at the back. 18, 21, 11, 10. So yep, he's got his commanders the right way round. So I don't think there's much more he can do. I would ask him to add in more team players. But that's he's not one of my alliance, so I won't be messaging him that. Let's have a look here. Okay, so he's got the 5. That's fantastic. Let's see how many team players. 1, 2, 3. So 3 out of 10 I think is really low. I say the team, I think this guy, what he's really got is a bit of a complex where he's got the superhero complex, where he wants his Sun Tzu and his Minamoto to win it on their own as star strikers. But of course, if those two are killed, then these 3 other marches aren't going to be killing anyone or doing anything. I'm also really disappointed here. I would message them and say that Lohar needs to be swapped with Ethelfled because you're wasting the skill damage that Sun Tzu can give. So, not super happy with this. I would definitely message them if they were one of my commanders. Let's have a look here. So, team players. 1, 2. So, 2 out of 8. Not brilliant. Again, he's gone for... Wow, he's really pushed these commanders hard. I mean, it's a nice team, but individually, if they were having separate duels, this would be fantastic. Because this Sun Tzu, I think, could beat anybody on my team. That Martel could beat anyone on my team. That Minamoto could give somebody, certainly hurt somebody on my team if it was a 1v1. But it's not. It's 5v5, and a significant amount of my team are team players, where he only has 2, which is not good. Jones missing as well, and I think he's going to have a gold star nightmare, which would be very expensive. By the looks, he hasn't got the 5th march, so I think he's setting himself up for a very difficult time, but he's got Martel past 40, so good on him there. Let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 out of 8 are team players. Let's check the back row. The back row is less than the front row. So missing Ethelfled is what I'd have to message this person. Let's have another look here. Here, why don't we do the whale? Actually, no, let's do this guy here next. So here we are. So this is a strong play. He's got a beautiful Minamoto there. But how many team players has he got? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 out of 10 are team players, which to me is very low. Let's check his back line. His back line is less than his front line, so that's good. So 10, 16, 29, 11, 31. But of course he's having to use gatherers and peacekeepers in the front row, where really, as I say, I mean, it's not a bad team, just doesn't have enough team players on it. They're not helping each other enough. Let's go down, have a look at someone else. 1 million. Let's go up and look at the whale. So this is the whale. Obviously, he's got a beautiful Minamoto, and gold stars are never going to be a problem to a 16 million or whatever he is player. But let's have a look. Team players. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 out of the 10. So that's, I mean, but he could power through because his Minamoto is such a superstar. He can power through and still win, but only 3 of his commanders are team players. So to me, that's quite weak. Let's also look at his level. So his it's not insignificant. So if his KvK or Chocho, however you say it, was in Boudica's place, then he would get an extra 2,000 troops. But what I would think, also, I think I'm not happy with his Sun Tzu, because Sun Tzu's extra 20% skill damage is going to Caesar, which is then 0. So he's missing the team players there. That could be, I think, a significantly better team. But of course, he's got 3 superheroes or 3 superstars. So he can, of course, even though his setup can be improved, he could still just power through using superstars. Anyhow, I think this video has gone on long enough, but it gives an idea of how an R4 you can go through your troops, send a little message, and just help them get into that top 32. There is also one more trick nearing the end of the week. You could ask people, let's say somebody's right down in the hundreds, to say, look, so-and-so's in position 42 or so-and-so's in position 436. Could a few people help them by giving them a boost and losing to their team to get them into that top 32 and give them the chance to get into the top 64 for 4 gold keys, which would be a significant help if enough of your players get into that top 64. So that's my thoughts on the tournament at the moment. I hope you enjoyed it, that I've done it perhaps from the view of an R4 instead of, as I would usually do, and just talk about my team for the whole video. And I hope this helps somebody match their video up. Or let me just have one quick look if I can find an example where somebody's back row isn't right. So here we are. He's got a Martel at the back there, who I think is 47, and really, which is significantly higher than the 28, the 42, and even the 32 on the Sun Tzu. So that Martel should be in the front line. Also, again, with the Sun Tzu, you're losing that 20% skill damage, and obviously you need to message them and say, where's your Ethelfled? But that's just an example there of where the back row has somebody stronger than a front row member in. I hope this video makes sense. Any questions, put them below. And as we go through this tournament, I'll be making updates to this video where you can help your kingdom and your team strike a psychological blow to the other kingdoms that their whale is not that strong. Thanks for watching.